Hey guys, Omar here. As a lot of you know, I've been using the Nikon Z6 II for a lot of my professional work and portrait work. We recently took it to Puerto Rico for a little travel, and I've been loving the camera, but there are some weird things that happen every now and then, so I thought I'd make this fun video to share some of these quirks. And every camera has quirks, by the way, and you can always work around quirks, and if you understand quirks, you can totally be like, oh yeah, that's why it's doing it. But every now and then when the quirk, it's the first time you ever see it, you're like, what's going on? So here we go. The first weird thing that my Nikon Z6 II does is the back of the screen will completely turn off. And when this first happened to me, I was kind of like, what's going on? Hello? Hello, what's going on? Hello, McFly. And what I do to remedy it is I would hit the view button, the view mode, and I would cycle through the different view modes, which is EVF only, prioritize EVF, turn the screen on only, and it would come back. But this kept happening during shoots all the time as the back screen would just turn itself off. And so at first, the remedy was just to blow. There's like this little viewfinder here, this little eye sensor. When you put your face close to the screen, it turns off this back screen. But it's so hypersensitive that if there's a little piece of dust or something in there, forget about it. So that's the first thing, is that the weird thing was that there was dust in there, and that would remedy it. It also, a strange thing would happen is anytime I would change a lens during an event, I would take the lens off, put the new lens on, and strangely the screen would be off. I don't know if it's because when I change lenses, I have my neck strap on and the viewfinder maybe is kind of bumping more dust in there or something. But for a while there was a little piece of rubber on this viewfinder, dude. Let me show you, hold on. I'm trying to show you here, but there was a little bit of a nipple hanging down, a little bit of a nipple that was blocking the eye sensor. So double check if that's happening to you. Okay, the second weird thing I had to get used to on the Nikon Z6 II that doesn't happen with other cameras is you need to hit OK to confirm your changes. The camera just needs to know if you're sure. Like it doesn't understand that you want to change. So if I go from standard film sim here to neutral and I just go back or pump the shutter, it stays in standard. You need to hit OK to confirm every change, which took a long time to get used to. And actually what it did was it messed me up for my other cameras, because now I'm like worried that the change didn't confirm on my Fujifilm cameras. I'm like, you sure? You sure? Yeah, it's sure. All right, the third weird thing that happened with the Nikon Z6 II is when I was using flash. I've talked about this before, but if you use flash on a mirrorless camera, it's kind of like shooting your mirrorless camera like a DSLR, where you take the shot and you need to see what the flash did with a little playback, like a quick playback. And shooting flash with the Nikon Z6 II is a little frustrating when you're shooting quickly at an event, because you want to see what the flash did, but like playback is a little delayed, and then you kind of have to get back to shooting and the playback's a little delayed. So there was one event where I shot TTL, so I was like, I'm not checking any photo, we're just gonna shoot TTL, and it was great. But if you shoot manual flash and you need to adjust your flash, it's a little annoying on the Nikon Z6 II. Now I did reach out to Vahography, who is also a Nikon channel, and I asked them to check the Z9, and here's what that did.
All right, Omar, so we got the speed light on with the Z9, and here we go.
So it looks like the Z9 is a little quicker with flash, so you can see your exposure, but not this one, not the Nikon. Come on, firmware, firmware, firmware. Thank you, Nikon. What's next? Yo no veo nada. Estoy ciego. Okay, this one's totally personal, and I'm a little embarrassed to share here. But the camera gives me a callus on my hand. I don't know if you could see that, but I shot one whole event with it, and when I came back, I had this really big sort of like skin thing, and with the flash on there, and I guess the weight of the lens that I had on there, my skin folded in a certain way, and I got a callus from the camera. So I actually had to purchase a grip, which remedied the problem, but that was pretty weird. Okay, another weird thing that the camera was doing, which is freaking me out. I've been watching Stranger Things and I was like, Demogorgons. But the camera was just like totally shooting on its own. It was just taking its own pictures. And the reason was that the touchscreen actually has a couple of different modes. And one of the modes is to have it off, so it don't work. And one of them is to actually shoot photos with the touchscreen. But what's weird is it's set to be like an iPhone where it knows that it's skin, it's a finger. I can take pictures. But when I'm shooting an event and I'm messing with flashes, I'm trying to do it now and it's not doing it, but it shoots its own photographs when I'm changing I don't know if my elbow is brushing up against the screen or something, but I have all these photos of my feet at events. Another one is, this is not weird, this is a little bit of a pet peeve. All my other cameras have a display mode in which the camera can give you like a complete clean look of your photographs. You can't see that. Yeah, hello in there. So for example, here I have my settings. I could see my settings, but if I let go of the shutter, you have a clean look at your image, which is nice to compose, especially if at the bottom the settings are gone. You could see your foreground. But the Nikon Z6 II doesn't do that, even if you cycle through all the display modes. Now there is a workaround. There is this, you could set a custom button to sort of turn off all the information in the back. But the problem there is that I've used up all my custom buttons for more important things. And another kind of pet peeve is Nikon doesn't let you sort of get rid of these zoom ones. Can we those are 2 extra buttons there. We don't need to zoom. We could pinch to zoom, double tap to zoom. Let us use these, but those are pet peeves. That's not weird. Okay, and the last weird thing is I finally know why Nikon has made the tracking box be the OK symbol. You know, when you're shooting in a wide zone, like for eye detection, and you want to set that little focus box, the default is the OK. And I always wondered, why isn't it one of the cool function buttons in the front? And I actually I made it one of the front function buttons. Now I know why they did that. I'm constantly, like, my long fingers accidentally hit the buttons on the front. And so that might be just like my long hand kind of thing going on. But every now and then when I'm doing a portrait session, the center focus tracking box is like waiting for me. And I didn't activate it. Just my long, stupid finger did. So that's a little bit of a weird thing. Anyway, the camera is still great. Those are just 7 weird things. I'll see you guys next time.